America of 2030 looks nothing like the America you're living in today. The prices you're seeing right now? They're just the beginning. Housing is breaking records every month. AI is flooding industries faster than companies can adapt. Millions are packing up and leaving the states they thought they would grow old in. And entire cities that once defined American success, are collapsing under their own weight. Something massive is coming, something historic. And here's the part almost no one understands. Most Americans have no idea how close we are to a complete transformation. For more than 2 decades, the cost of living has risen faster than the American paycheck. Every single year. Groceries cost more, rent is climbing, insurance is climbing, childcare is climbing, healthcare is climbing so quickly that entire families are one medical bill away from financial ruin. Meanwhile, wages have barely moved. The middle class, the group that once defined American life, is shrinking at a speed we have never seen before. And Gen Z? They're walking into an economy where buying a home isn't a milestone, it's a luxury. And here's the truth people avoid saying out loud. All of these pressures, housing, debt, wages, cost of living, are building toward the same moment. 2030 is the collision point. Right now, more than 20 million Americans have already left the states they once called home. They're fleeing high costs, unstable job markets, and shrinking opportunities. California, New York, Illinois, the economic giants of the 20th century, are seeing populations fall for the first time in modern history. Meanwhile, cities like Austin, Miami, Nashville, Phoenix, Raleigh, they're exploding. New industries, lower taxes, fresh opportunities, all pulling millions toward a new American map. But here's what most people miss. This isn't random migration. This is the country reorganizing itself. Geographically, economically, politically. Everyone keeps saying AI will replace low-skill jobs first. Factory workers, drivers, retail, but that's not what's happening. The first wave of AI disruption is hitting white-collar America. Law, finance, marketing, design, consulting, media, tasks that once took entire teams can now be done in minutes. Work that required years of training can be replicated by a machine that never sleeps, never rests, never needs a day off. By 2030, nearly 40% of American jobs will change in ways most people are not ready for. And the most terrifying part? This isn't automation. This is replacement. Full-scale, top-to-bottom replacement of the stable jobs America has relied on for decades. So the real question isn't, is America changing? It's, when everything shifts, who rises? And who gets left behind? Because the next decade will not treat everyone equally. Some people will climb faster than ever. Others will fall through cracks that didn't even exist 10 years ago. And the answer to who wins and who loses comes down to 5 dangerous traps that millions of Americans are already walking straight into, and most of them don't even see it happening. For decades, Americans have been told a comforting story. Don't worry, as life gets more expensive, your paycheck will rise too. But that hasn't happened. Not in the last 5 years. Not in the last 10. Not in the last 20. American wages have been nearly flat for 2 decades, barely moving at all. While housing, groceries, gas, healthcare, and education have all skyrocketed. Today, it takes far more work just to maintain the same quality of life your parents had with a single income. And here's the painful twist. 2030 will be the year millions of Americans finally realize their income is not coming to save them. Not because people aren't working hard enough, but because the entire economic structure has shifted beneath their feet. This is the myth almost everyone clings to. People imagine AI replacing factory workers, drivers, retail jobs that are easy to automate, but the truth is far more uncomfortable. The first wave of AI disruption is crushing white-collar work. AI writes ads. It drafts legal documents. It produces market research. It analyzes financial models. It creates designs. It edits video. It generates code. Jobs that once required degrees, internships, and years of experience can now be done by a machine in seconds. This is why the American middle class is shrinking. The value of their skills is disappearing faster than they can update them. And in its place, something new is emerging. The AI middle class, people who master the tools instead of competing with them. In 2030, Your job title matters less than your AI ability. Millions of Americans are waiting for the housing market to correct, to cool off, to finally become affordable again. But everything we're seeing points in the opposite direction. America is short millions of homes. Building new ones is more expensive than ever. Materials, labor, permits. Interest rates are volatile. Property taxes are rising. And corporate investors are buying entire neighborhoods at once. Every pressure in the system pushes prices upward, not down. The truth no one likes to admit: by 2030, homeownership won't be a milestone of adulthood. It will be a privilege, available only to those who got in early or got very lucky. In the new America, owning a home instantly puts you in a different economic class. Millions believe they can escape the cost of living crisis by moving to Florida, Texas, Arizona, Tennessee, the Carolinas. But here's the problem. Costs follow people. When large populations move into affordable cities, those cities quickly become unaffordable. Rent spikes, traffic explodes, infrastructure collapses under new demand. Local wages fail to catch up. Miami, Austin, and Phoenix were once havens for affordability. Today, they're among the fastest rising markets in the entire country. You can run from high costs, but high costs will run faster. And by 2030, no state will be safe. Not from population booms, not from inflation, not from economic pressure. Location won't protect you, only adaptation will. This is the most comforting and most dangerous belief. For generations, Americans assumed the same story. No matter how bad things get, we'll figure it out. We always do. But the forces reshaping America today are bigger than optimism. Political division is at record highs. Federal debt is soaring beyond anything in history. Climate disasters are striking harder and more often. Internal migration is splitting the nation into two fundamentally different Americas. These aren't temporary issues. They're long-term structural shifts. If you think 2020 was chaotic and 2024 was tense, the 2030 seconds will redefine what instability looks like. Because this next decade won't be about small changes. It will be about a nation transforming faster than its people can adjust. And if you're not preparing for that shift, you're already behind. For decades, the middle class was the center of American life. It represented stability, security, opportunity, the promise that if you worked hard, you could build a good life. But that system isn't just cracking, it's collapsing. Today, wages are rising at a fraction of the pace of inflation. The cost of living, housing, food, childcare, healthcare, transportation is accelerating faster than any point in modern history. That's why more Americans than ever are working 2, sometimes 3 jobs, just to stay afloat. Not to get ahead, just to avoid falling behind. This isn't a temporary struggle. It's a structural shift. And by 2030, for the first time in modern history, the American middle class will fall below 50% of the population. Not because people are failing, not because they're lazy, not because they're making bad decisions, but because the economic floor underneath them has moved, and no one told them. Survival is becoming the new normal for millions, and it's only the beginning. Quote, Overly Lester, quote, If buying a home feels impossible today, 2030 will be even worse. In major cities, corporations are buying entire neighborhoods, hundreds of homes at a time, and turning them into long-term rental empires. Institutional investors now compete directly with families, and ordinary Americans cannot win that fight. That's why nearly 70% of Gen Z is projected to be locked out of homeownership. Not because they aren't working hard, but because the housing market no longer rewards hard work, it rewards capital. It rewards investors. It rewards people who already own property. By 2030, America will look less like a nation of homeowners and more like Renters America, a country where wealth is determined by one question: do you own property? Because in the new economy, real estate defines wealth more than ever before, and the gap between owners and renters will widen every single year. AI isn't some distant threat. It's already here, and it's already rewriting the rules of the labor market. Entire workflows that once required teams of people, marketing, logistics, design, accounting, engineering, can now be done instantly. But here's the twist. AI isn't just erasing jobs, it's creating new ones fast. AI-assisted freelancers, AI content operators, automation supervisors, remote AI controllers, digital contractors. The labor market is splitting into two groups: people who know how to use AI and people waiting to be replaced by it. By 2030, your salary won't be based on your major, your college, or your resume. It will be based on one question: can you command AI, or will AI replace you? The skill gap isn't just widening, it's becoming a canyon. Your ability to work with machines will determine your place in the new economy. America is changing its map in real time. Cities once considered secondary, Austin, Miami, Nashville, Raleigh, are exploding with new industries, new capital, new talent. These cities aren't just growing, they're becoming the new economic engines of the United States. Meanwhile, some of America's most iconic cities, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, even New York, are struggling with population decline, crime waves, shrinking tax bases, and affordability crises. Companies are relocating, families are relocating, skilled workers are relocating. This isn't random, this is a national restructuring. For the first time in American history, the country is shifting its geographic center of power. The cities that dominate the 2030 seconds won't be the ones that define the 2000s. The U.S. healthcare system is reaching a breaking point. Costs are rising 5 or 7% every single year, far outpacing wages, inflation, and savings. By 2030, millions of Americans will face a harsh reality: medical care that is literally unaffordable. And then, there's debt. Student loans are back. Credit card debt is at record highs. Medical debt is crushing families nationwide. Debt is no longer a temporary burden. It has become a class marker. In the 2030 seconds, you won't ask someone what they earn. You'll ask them what they owe. Because your debt, not your income, will determine your future. In the new America, debt will divide the country more sharply than income ever did. America isn't collapsing. It's transforming. The opportunities are still here. In technology, in innovation, in new industries, in mobility, in creativity. But they're no longer spread across the country like they used to be. Some people are rising faster than ever. Others are falling behind, even while working harder than they ever have. The difference isn't luck. It isn't connections. It isn't geography. The difference is preparation. The people who study these trends, who understand what's coming, who adapt before they're forced to, will rise in the new America. But the people who wait, who assume things will go back to normal, will find themselves struggling in a system that no longer works the way it once did. America is still strong, just not equally strong for everyone. Where you end up depends on how early you prepare. For decades, Americans were told a simple rule: where you live decides your future. But that rule broke, and it's not coming back. In the new economy, AI literacy matters more than your zip code. Personal finance habits matter more than your state tax rate. Remote work opportunities matter more than the city on your driver's license. Your adaptability matters more than your long-term plan. The people who survive the 2030 seconds won't be the ones with the perfect resume. They'll be the ones who can learn fast, shift direction, and rebuild when necessary. The new American advantage isn't stability, it's flexibility. Flexibility is the new security. Your ability to switch careers, to pivot when markets shift, to use AI instead of fearing it, to make money remotely instead of locally. That's what will decide where you stand in the next decade. Your skills, not your location, will determine your future. Everything happening right now is connected. The housing crisis, the cost of living, the rise of AI, the collapse of old industries, the migration between states, the political divide ripping the country in two. These aren't separate problems. They're pieces of the same story. A story about a nation entering a new era faster than its people can adjust. And the people who understand that story, who see the patterns emerging, will have an advantage most Americans never will. Because once you see the pattern, you can position yourself ahead of it. You can make smarter decisions. You can avoid the traps. You can move before the wave hits, not after. If you're watching this video all the way to this point, you're not behind. You're ahead. And once you understand the truth, the next question is simple. What do you do now? The people who thrive in the next decade won't be the ones with the most money, or the biggest degrees, or the strongest resumes. They'll be the ones who adapt the fastest. The winners of 2030 will be the people who master AI tools, not the ones who fear them. They'll treat AI the way past generations treated computers, as an advantage, not a threat. They will move strategically, not chasing trends, but choosing cities, jobs, and industries with data-driven precision. They will avoid bad debt, not because they're lucky, but because they understand how debt shapes class in modern America. And above all, they will build remote income streams, freelancing, contracting, digital work, AI-assisted businesses, because in the new economy, earning online is the closest thing to economic freedom. These people won't just survive the 2030 seconds. They'll rise in them. And they'll do it by acting early, not waiting for the crisis to arrive. The people who struggle in the next decade won't fail because they're not smart. They'll fail because they hold on to a world that no longer exists. They will refuse to adapt, believing the old rules will eventually return. They will rely on systems that are already breaking. Traditional employment, traditional career paths, traditional housing expectations. They will ignore data trends, dismissing the migration shifts, the AI disruption, the debt crisis, thinking these changes won't affect them. And worst of all, they will expect the future to behave like the past. They will assume that hard work alone will be enough, that loyalty will be rewarded, that stability will return. But the world is changing too fast for old strategies to survive. In the 2030 seconds, the biggest disadvantage isn't lack of opportunity. It's refusing to see the opportunity in front of you. The difference between rising and falling is whether you adapt now or later. You don't reset. If you want a deeper breakdown of what the 2030 seconds will look like, tell me what you want to explore next. AI jobs? The best cities to move to? The future of housing in America? How America might look by 2040? Drop your topic in the comments. Your question might be the next documentary. Your choice will shape the next video, and maybe your future. America is heading into a decade unlike any we've ever experienced. A decade of opportunity, a decade of disruption, a decade where the prepared rise and the unprepared struggle to keep up. If you learned something today, don't stop here. There's far more to uncover. Because what happens after 2030 will shock you even more. Watch the next video. Your future might depend on it.